Hey, what's going on, guys? My name is JayJiveCertified, and today, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to be going over my pick'ems for the PGL Copenhagen 2024 Major. The Major's in about like 2 or 3 days. The pick'ems came out yesterday, and I thought, hey, everyone else is making a video about their pick'ems. Why not I join in? It'll be fun. Why not? So the way I'm going to do this is I'm basically going to go through each team and just kind of talk about them a little bit, and then kind of place them based on how I've talked about them. Now, I'm going to leave a link in the description to a really helpful website that I use. It's called major.im, and it's basically a bracket simulator, and you can use it to kind of simulate what the group stage is going to look like, depending on your bracket picks. Because, you know, this system, it uses the Swiss system and it uses the buccal system, or however you pronounce that. And so the seeding can get kind of confusing, and it's kind of hard to tell, you know, where can you place a team so that it's possible for other teams to be in some slots. And yeah, it's all a little bit confusing. So I'm going to leave a link in the description down to that website that I used, because I created a bracket to kind of figure out where I wanted to place these teams. And that's what I'm referencing. If you see me look over to my second monitor a lot, I'm referencing the bracket that I made to talk about these teams. So yeah, we'll start from the bottom and go our way up from the top, because the way that this is kind of formatted is not quite the seeding, but it's close. So yeah, we'll just go off of that. So first, I want to talk about Lin Vision. Now, we saw the Asian RMR. You know, I feel like the bar for making it through that event was actually quite low. Most of the teams there did not perform the way that a lot of us thought they were going to. Tyloo didn't do a great job. Greyhound, of course, kind of bombed out of the RMR, caused him to be shut down. Now we have Jeeves to pick up the old Greyhound lineup. And so Lin Vision making it through, in my opinion, wasn't that impressive. It was kind of, you know, whatever. And so if you look at kind of their first match going in, the first match that we know for sure the first team that they're going up against is Heroic. And this is, of course, the rebuilt Heroic. You know, they've got Nertz, they've got Nikodas, they've got Kixen, and they've got Saw as the coach. And, you know, Heroic has been looking weird. I'll talk about them a little bit later. But yeah, just though in my bracket, the way I have them is I have Lin Vision going up against Heroic, losing that match. Next, I have them going up against Ecstatic. I think Ecstatic is going to do actually quite well at this event, considering they're the only full Danish team. At least in the group stage, I think they're going to do pretty good. So I have them losing to Ecstatic. And then last, I have them going up against Pain Gaming. I think Pain Gaming has a better breadth of LAN, specifically major experience. So I think they're going to lose that game against Pain Gaming. And all in all, that equates to Lin Vision being my first 0-3 eliminated team. I don't think they're going to win a match at the event. And, you know, just based on their performance at the last ESO Pro League, I don't think Lin Vision's a terrible team. I just think they're in a really rough spot right now. They've attempted to make roster changes to kind of make a better team to go up against European opposition, and I just don't think they're at the level they need to be right now to be contending for these big tournaments, especially for majors. So I have them going 0-3. I think a lot of people have Lin Vision going 0-3. That's not to say that I'm gonna be typical with these pick'ems. My other 0-3 team is gonna be a weird one, and as a bit of a segue, I don't think the other 0-3 team is going to be Legacy. A lot of people are saying that Legacy is going to go 0-3. They're kind of the bottom of the bar right now. You know, Lin Vision barely made it through the Asia Pacific RMR. Legacy barely made it through the Americas RMR. That being said, I don't think Legacy is a terrible team. I think they're a better team than Lin Vision. If you look at the way I have the bracket set up, well, you can't. I can, though. Their first game is against Furia. I think Furia has looked much better recently than they normally are. So I have them winning that game. I have Legacy going up against Eternal Fire next. I think that's a game that Eternal Fire has in the bag. So at this point, Legacy is down 0-2, right? You would expect them to lose their next game. Most people are expecting them to lose the next game. In the next round, I have Legacy going up against 9 Pandas. Now, I'm going to talk about 9 Pandas a little more later, but I'm not feeling very confident about 9 Pandas right now. I think of all the teams participating, they have the least reason to want to win this major, to want to do well in this major. It's a rather old team, and I think Legacy has some passion. They have Coldzera, and they have some other players who are a bit newer to the scene, and they're really passionate about CS. If you saw their performance in the Americas RMR, yeah, they may not have been winning as much as people wanted them to, but gosh, they were yelling and they were fighting, they were scrapping. And so I think Legacy is going to have that fire underneath them in this third round to not go 0-3. I think they want to prove the world wrong and prove that they can win a game in the Copenhagen Major, and I think they're going to do just that. I think they're going to win their match against 9 Pandas, going 1-2, and then their next match, they're going to go up against Apex. I think Apex has been looking better. I rate Apex higher than a lot of people right now. Maybe I place them exactly where they need to be. I think Apex is going to look good in this match. I think Sense is going to have a takeover map, and I think Legacy are going to lose this match. So that being said, they're going 1-3. So they don't go anywhere in the pick'ems. They're eliminated from the major. They don't go 0-3, but they don't qualify either. So that's Legacy off the table. Next, I'm going to talk about Koi. Koi, this is the team that used to be the Movistar Riders. Kind of a breakout performance in the last EPL. I think this is an interesting team. I think they have a similar situation to Ecstatic in that they're owned by a streamer, or at least heavily involved with a streamer. And so they're kind of a community-driven team, and they've already got some experience from the Movistar Riders going into the major. That being said, if I look over at the bracket here, their first game is against Saw. Saw has been looking great as of recent. Saw does lack some LAN experience, but I think that they will be able to handily take Koi in this one. So I think Saw win that game. Koi, the way I had it, go against 9 Pandas. Yet again, I'm not feeling very confident about 9 Pandas at this event. I think Koi do win that event, given their LAN experience. Next up, so they're 1-1 at that point. Koi go up against Ents next. I think Glaive and the 9 core are going to look great at this event. Glaive really does have a reason to go far in this major. And I think the 9 squad have the experience they need, and I think they want to back up Glaive in this endeavor. You know, Kyler has been, I think I heard something about him talking about how he's been loving Glaive's leadership, and how it's really improving as a player, and you can see that in his performance and in his statistics. So I think Ents are looking good at this event. I think they do beat Koi in that matchup, taking Koi to a 1-2 start. Koi then go up against Imperial Esports. Now, people have been talking very lowly about Imperial Esports lately, just because of the rookies on this squad and how they're not confident. You know, there's a lack of LAN experience there. Imperial may not make it very far. However, I do think they beat Koi in this matchup. I think Imperial looked great at the Americas RMR despite the teams they were going up against. I think Imperial looked confident. I think their rookies look good. And I think Koi are going to lose this matchup. And so with that being said, Koi go 1-3 and do not qualify. They don't go 0-3, but they don't qualify to go forward. So we're just going to kind of leave them alone. Next, I'm going to talk about Ecstatic. Now, Ecstatic is arguably the most interesting team going into the group stage. They're the only full Danish team. They have a lot to fight for. They're backed up by the community. They're a very community-driven team. You know, Onapixel is going to be streaming this team. He's going to want them to go far at this event. Ecstatic and Heroic are just going to be Onapixel's picks for this event, I imagine. That's not to say that that's not everything that matters, but Ecstatic are breathing their home air. They've got their home food. They are comfortable, and they're going to have a fire lit beneath them to be the Danish representative team at the Copenhagen Major. In their first round, they unfortunately do go up against Cloud9. I think they're going to lose that because Cloud9 are looking pretty solid right now. They're just a bunch of good players on one team. It's pretty stacked. When you look at their next matchup, the way I have it, I have Ecstatic going up against Lin Vision. We talked about this before. I think Lin Vision do lose that match. Ecstatic do win that match. So Ecstatic go 1-1. They then go up against Apex, the way I have it. Now, this, in my opinion, is actually a pretty equal matchup. Apex are the 4th seed for this event. I think Sense is looking really, really good as an in-game leader. He's got more passion than just about any player at this event, in my opinion. He has looked really good recently. He's got some shaky moments, but he's looked great. And I think Ecstatic have a bit of a wake-up moment. I think in this round, if they go up against Apex, I think there's that fire beneath them is gonna grow even hotter, and they're just gonna become impassioned. And I think Ecstatic are actually going to take this match against Apex in the 3rd round, going 2-1. Next up, the way I have the bracket set up, Ecstatic go up against the Mongols. I think the Mongols looked extremely dominant in the Asia-Pacific RMR, and I think Blitz is kind of this ice-cold villain at this event, and I really like the way that this is going. The Mongols look great. And I think they force Ecstatic in another wake-up moment. I think the Mongols do win this match. And then moving on to the next round, I think Ecstatic are going to go up against Imperial Esports. Now, Imperial Esports, yeah, they've got the rookies. Yeah, they've been winning some matches. They looked great at the Americas RMR. But here's the thing. I think Ecstatic are going to be in a 2-2 situation. They're going to realize that they could genuinely be knocked out of their home major, and they're going to take advantage of the rookies on Imperial, and I think Ecstatic are going to make it. I think they're going to go 3-2. And with that being said, I think Ecstatic are going to be a 3-2 team. I think they're going to qualify to move on to the elimination stage of the major. And that's that. We'll see what they can do from there. Talking about Omcall Esports, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right. Apologies if I'm not. But this is a CIS squad. I had not really heard of this team until they placed first at, I believe it was the first or second open qualifier for the European RMR. I can't remember which one it was. But that was the first time I was like, okay, hold up. This squad could be something. And they performed all right at the European RMR. Going into the major itself, their first match is up against 9 Pandas. Yet again, this is not a 9 Pandas that I'm feeling confident about. And so I think Omcall, being a rather new team, I think they have the passion, and I think they have the will to take down 9 Pandas. So I think they take them out in the first round. So that's a 1-0 start for them. They go on to play Cloud9. Yet again, this is a Cloud9 that I think is looking pretty good going into the event. I think they do lose that round and go 1-1. Next, I have Omcall playing against Eternal Fire. Eternal Fire have something to prove at this event, I think. And so I think Eternal Fire do win this round. And so Omcall have a 1-2 start. Omcall then go on to play Pain Gaming. And I think Pain, with their breadth of LAN experience, I think Pain take them down in this matchup, and that puts Omcall into a 1-3, which means they don't go 0-3, but they don't qualify to the major. So that's it for Omcall. I think they have a rather all right performance. I think they won the one game. They win their opening game, and I think they lose all 3 after that. Talking about the Mongols. This is a team I'm actually really excited to talk about. They blasted, like rocket jumped through the Asia-Pacific RMR. I mean, they made every other team look amateur. I mean, they've been scrimming against European teams. They've been boot camping in Europe. This is not an Asian team in terms of their talent. They are playing at a European level. And they've shown that in the past. I think they're only elevating. I think Blitz is becoming more and more impassioned to win big events. He's becoming really ice cold, and I think this squad is really set up to win big events like this. They're built for this. They're built to represent the Asia Pacific area in an incredible way. That being said, I think so. In their first match, they go up against Eternal Fire. That's confirmed. I think the Mongols come out and just in an ice cold fashion decimate Eternal Fire. I think they win this match against Eternal Fire. They have a 1-0 start. They move on to play Ents. I think they catch Glaive off guard. Honestly, I could see this going the other way. I could see Glaive outsmarting the Mongols, but I think the Mongols catch Glaive off guard and catch the 9 core off guard, taking them to a 2-0 start. They then go up against Heroic. I think Heroic have all the reason in the world to do great. They have the tools, they have the talent, they have the passion, they have the reason to do well in this event. So I do think they beat the Mongols in that matchup. And then finally, the Mongols go up against Ecstatic, and as I've said before, I think the Mongols do win that match against Ecstatic, which means they have a 3-1 for the group stage, and thus qualify to move on to the elimination stage of the major. They don't go 3-0, but they do qualify. Next, I want to talk about Imperial Esports. I've talked about that a little before. They've got some rookies on this squad. This is not like they don't have the most amount of LAN experience compared to a lot of these other teams. They kind of had to go through that rebuild after the Fallen period, but I think they've been looking good since then. A lot of people underrate this team. I think the fact that this team got through the Americas RMR as easily as they did is actually a really good indicator of their talent. And I think these rookies actually look pretty solid. I think, if anything, it's going to be experience that catches them off guard. Their first confirmed matchup in the first round is against Ents. I think Glaive has all the reason in the world to win this matchup, and I think he does. I think the rookies are going to be a bit nervous going into that. Next up, they go against Pain Gaming. This is Brazil on Brazil action, and the last time these teams went up against each other, it was a 2-0 in the favor of Imperial, a pretty handy one if I'm remembering correctly. So I think Imperial do take this again, putting them at a 1-1 start. Next, Imperial go up against a red-hot SAW. I think SAW do take this matchup, making them a 1-2 team, Imperial Esports, that is. Imperial then go up against Koi. I think the rookies are going to come alive. I think they're going to have a bit of a masterclass against this Koi squad, and I think they're going to go 2-2. And then last up, Imperial go up against Ecstatic in a 2-2 round. Ecstatic have every reason in the world to win this game. They're going to be impassioned, and I think they're going to beat Imperial Esports, putting Imperial Esports at a 2-3 record for the group stage. They don't qualify. They don't go 3. They just don't get touched. Next up is Pain Gaming. This is a squad we saw at the last major. I don't remember if they did well or not. I don't think they did. This is a team that looked a little shaky at the RMR, to be completely honest. They have good pieces. They do have good pieces. I just think that they're not the best team right now. I think they have pretty good breadth of experience compared to some of these other teams. I mean, they were literally at the last major, but I don't think they have the tools to win any big games. Their first confirmed matchup is up against Apex. I think this is Sense just outsmarting them in every sense. Haha. Pain lose that matchup. Pain then go up against Imperial Esports. I think Imperial Esports win the Brazilian Derby here. Next up, Pain go up against Lin Vision. They take him out pretty handily. Lin Vision are just not looking great right now. Pain then go up against Omcall. I think Pain win the experience matchup here. I think Pain do have the experience advantage over Omcall, and as a result, I think they do win this matchup, going 2-2. They then make it to the 2-2 round and play against SAW, who is yet again looking pretty good as of recent. I think this is their opportunity to gain that LAN experience that they've been needing, and I think they take this opportunity by the horns, and I think SAW win this matchup, which puts Pain at a 2-3 record. They do not advance. So let's talk about SAW for a little bit. They just qualified literally like a week ago or something like that. They qualified for, I believe, they got through the showdown. That's what it was. They OG 2-0'd Heroic, and then SAW proceeded to 2-0 OG to qualify for the showdown. Granted, that was an OG without Heavy God, but regardless, I think this SAW squad is looking really solid. And most importantly, I think Saw is looking very confident in themselves. I think Saw had some rough games at the RMR, but I think they had a reverse sweep. I think they went 2 down, then proceeded to win all 3 games after that to qualify. And I think they've been looking good. I think Saw have been looking good. They've really been looking good recently. I have their first game as Saw versus Koi. I think they take down Koi. Next up, they go up against Heroic. I think Heroic win that. They have all the reason in the world to win that. Saw then go up against Imperial Esports. I think they take advantage of the lack of experience, and I think Saw just looks more solid. They then go up against Ents. I think Glaive outsmarts them, unfortunately. Saw then go to the 2-2 round and beat Pain Gaming to go up 3-2 and to advance to the elimination stage. Next up, I have 9 Pandas. Now, prepare yourselves, for this is my my hot take for the day, unfortunately for some of you. I am genuinely unimpressed by 9 Pandas. I don't see any reason why they should do well at this major. Every other team going into this major has a reason to win. They have something to prove. And 9 Pandas are the most lukewarm team of any team going in here. I don't think they have a reason to win anything. Let's take a look at their matches for a minute. The first confirmed match for 9 Pandas is against Omcall. I think Omcall do take this because they do have something to prove. They have to prove that they're a new squad. They have to prove that they're worth being put together. They have to prove that they're worth the money that it took to put this squad together to bring them to the major. They have to prove they're supposed to be here. Now, as we saw, they're not. But I think they want to prove that, and I think they proved that against a rather aging 9 Pandas. 9 Pandas then go up against Koi. This is a Koi squad with a fire underneath them. They're very community-backed. They're in association with a streamer whose name I can't remember. I'm so sorry. But I think Koi have more reason to win this game, and as a result, I think they do. 9 Pandas then go up against Legacy. Now listen, this is the controversial matchup. Legacy, on paper, should lose this. I think we have a Cold Zero masterclass. I think Legacy are far more impassioned to win this. I don't see 9 Pandas winning this match, and as a result, 9 Pandas is the only other 0-3 team at the Copenhagen Major, by my estimation. Next, we have Apex. Apex is a shaky team. They're in a really weird spot, but I have such a good feeling about Sense. I think Sense is the next big thing. So much passion. He's a pretty good IGL. Great fragging IGL. He's young, he has room to grow, he has confidence issues, but I think if he could just learn to adjust to any situation and really take advantage of his own emotions, I think he could do amazing in the space, and I think he's doing great things for this Apex squad. The first confirmed matchup is against Pain Gaming. I think they take that. They next go up against Furia. I think Furia have been looking good, so Apex lose that matchup. Next, they go up against Ecstatic. Ecstatic have every reason in the world to win this. I've talked about this before. I think Ecstatic use this as a proving moment, and they win that matchup. Apex then go up against Legacy. They handle them. I mean, Sense just takes advantage of the fact that Legacy is the lowest seed at this event. They then go up against Eternal Fire in the 2-2 round. I think that Apex do take this. Eternal Fire haven't been looking bad. A matter of fact, they've been looking good. They've been taking it pretty far with FaZe and whatnot. But I think Sense wants this enough. I think this Apex team wants this enough to beat Eternal Fire in a match like this. And thus, Apex have a 3-2 record in the group stage. I think they qualify to move on in the major. Now, here's my hot take, and I'm just going to say it now. Not a lot of people are going to agree with me, but I'm going to say it anyway. I don't think Eternal Fire qualify for the elimination stage. Something about this squad feels strange to me. I don't know exactly how to describe it. I just feel like this is an opportunity where Eternal Fire could be caught off guard by some of the teams they're having to go up against. You look at their first round, they go up against the Mongols. The Mongols are hard to read, and they play CS in a very strange way, and I think Blitz is on a bender right now, so I think the Mongols do win that match. Next up, Eternal Fire go up against Legacy. I think they handle them. I mean, come on, it's Legacy. Eternal Fire then go up against Omcall Esports. Omcall is reeling at this point. They're realizing that maybe they're not supposed to be here. I think Eternal Fire prove that and go 2-1. Eternal Fire then go up against Furia. I think Furia is looking good enough to take this Eternal Fire squad. I think they have more reason to win, more to prove. Last, they go up against this Apex squad, and I think Sense just shows them that he is supposed to be in the elimination stage, and they are not. Thus, Eternal Fire go 2-3 in the group stage. I don't think they qualify. Next up, we have Heroic. This is the team to watch for this major. The team to watch. They're a Danish corporation. It's not a full Danish squad, but they do have 3 Danish members on the team, Tessus, Shush, and Nikudas. Nikudas has every reason in the world to want to win every single matchup in the group stage, to fight for his father, Onapixel. It's a joke, of course. Heroic's first matchup is against Linvision. They take that pretty handily. Based on the seeding, they go up against Saw. I think Heroic take advantage of Saw's lack of LAN experience in this matchup and win that. And in the 2-0 matchup, they go up against the Mongols. And I think Heroic are studied enough to take down the Mongol squad in this matchup. And thus, Heroic go 3-0 and advance to the elimination stage, of course. Next up, we have Furia. Furia is such an up-and-down team as of recent. They've had some pretty unimpressive moments. They've had some rather impressive moments. I think they won the Espo or something. They won some event recently. Can't remember. Furia, as of recent, have looked good. To me, Furia look like Cloud9, who's figured it out. Cloud9 are, of course, dealing with this no-op issue, and so they're kind of relying on this rifle-heavy aggression forward setup. Furia are similar. That might sound a bit silly, I know, but they have Fallen and Art who kind of throw the op back and forth. This team is a team that loves to adjust. They love to play on the fly. They're not so dedicated to making sure an op is in someone's hands every round. And if they do, they're flexible between giving it to Fallen or Art, depending on the situation. And I think they do that flexible style better than a Cloud9 does, because they have players on their team who can use the op proficiently. They do go up against Legacy in the first round. I mean, they're going to take that pretty handily. Furia then go up against Apex. I think they look better than Apex right now. Next, Furia go up against Cloud9. Now, I know I just said that Furia is a better Cloud9. That being said, Cloud9 have way more to prove. I think Groove has been preparing them a lot better for this event than Gary has been preparing Furia. And Cloud9, I think, just catch Furia off guard with their overwhelming aggression, and I think Furia lose this matchup. But then they go on to play Eternal Fire. I think Furia have everything to prove, whereas Eternal Fire are in a solid spot. I think Furia do take this matchup against Eternal Fire, thus going 3-1 in the group stage and qualifying for the elimination stage. Next, we have ENCE. I think you guys could see where this is going. ENCE has Glaive, the legendary Danish IGL, been to a ton of majors, playing in his home country, and backed up by the 9 squad, who are hungry to win. And hungry to give Glaive another chance at a major. They go up against Imperial in the first round. I think they take that. They go up against Mongols in the next round. I think the Mongols catch them off guard. A fire is then lit beneath them. They're 1-1. They've lost a match at the major. I think the 9 squad pick it up. And I think Glaive is a bit more studied for the next match, which is Koi. I think they take that. ENCE then go up against Saw with their lack of LAN experience. And I think ENCE Masterclass takes Saw to go 3-1 and to qualify for the elimination stage. Gee, I wonder where Cloud9 is going. I'm just going to go ahead and put them in 3-0. They're the number 1 seed going into this event. Everyone's kind of unsure about this Cloud9 squad in general because of their lack of an opper, but I think because of that, they have so much, they have to prove this model for a CS team, and I think they do. For now. I'll say for now they do. They go up against Ecstatic in the first round. I think they catch Ecstatic off guard, and I think Cloud9 just walk in confidently and take it. They then go up against a reeling Omcall. There's no reason to think that Omcall would win this matchup. And then they go up against Furia, and as I've said before, I think Cloud9 do take Furia off guard, or catch Furia off guard, rather, with their aggressive playstyle. I think they're going to be really studied in this matchup. And with that being said, just based on the seeding, I think Cloud9 do go 3-0 in the group stage. So with all of that being said, this is my PGL Copenhagen 2024 major pick'ems for the opening stage. If you guys did enjoy, make sure to leave a like. Don't forget to subscribe. I'm going to be posting my pickups for the elimination stage once the group stage, or the opening stage rather, is finalized. If you did enjoy, let me know in the comments. That'd be great. I'd love to hear if anyone watched this or thought it was entertaining or whatnot. I did have, a few hot takes, but a lot of this is kind of how people are expecting this to go. Yeah, if you want to check out the bracket, just kind of get an idea. If you're doing the pick'ems yourself and you're not sure, what could be possible, what's impossible, can I not place 2 teams in the 3-0 because they might go against each other? I'm having a hard time understanding the system by which the major works. Just check out the link in the description. It is major.im. You'll be able to go through the bracket as I have and kind of figure out, okay, if this team wins, who do they have to go up against? That type of stuff. Just figure out those nitty-gritty seating details. And yeah, with all that being said, I hope you guys did enjoy, and I will go ahead and submit these picks. Boom, picks submitted. I hope you guys did enjoy, and I'll catch you in the next one. This is Jay out.